I woke up this morning and I knew I just had to go paint. The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. I was laying in bed this morning. The sun hadn't come up, and I had this urge to go paint. I hadn't finished setting up my space. I hadn't rearranged my paints. I hadn't brought them all into the room. But it doesn't matter. We don't have to have everything in our life perfectly organized for us just to start doing things. I don't typically have the urge to paint when I first wake up, so I looked at my astrology and my Mercury was being activated. Mercury in our chart is communication, how we communicate, what we communicate, and I thought that's interesting. Whatever is inside of me is wanting to be expressed through paints and not words. I picked my colors out, I got all of my supplies ready, and I just started painting. And I was listening to one of my content creators that is actually relaxing for me. She can often ignite new concepts inside of me. When I started painting, I had decided I was going to paint for about an hour, and I was nearing the end of the hour. And I had this feeling just wash over me of how grateful that I was, that I could just wake up in the morning, I could start painting, and just easily flow into my day. There are times in my life when I've had relationships where I would have to have had to explain this desire to go paint. There are two significant relationships that I've had in the past that didn't understand this creative side of me. And they would have started the day with, "Why are you doing that? Why does this matter? Why do you want to do that? I don't understand. Explain to me. Help me understand why you want to do this." And that is probably an accurate, condescending tone that they expressed their frustration to me. And this morning, I was just so grateful that I'm not sharing my life with somebody who doesn't understand me, who doesn't get me, who has different priorities, who has different passions. And I look at how much time I wasted explaining myself to people who said that they loved me, explaining why I am the way I am, explaining why I love doing these things, explaining everything. It is the biggest waste of energy that we have here in this life. All of that energy that you're using to explain yourself to your partner, that energy could actually be going into your passions. Those people around you that don't understand you, every time you explain yourself to them, you are using your powerful energy source on them instead of directing it into something that you actually love. The people closest to you, they don't want you to grow. The people closest to you don't want you to change. They need you to stay small. They need you to stay in a way that they feel comfortable. Their comfort is not your problem. Their comfort level is theirs to fix. And if they can't handle you growing, if they can't handle you being your fullest self, then maybe it's time to find people and surround yourself with people who understand you, who get you, who will love you just the way you are and will not ask you to change. I'm finding that it is becoming increasingly difficult for me to be around a couple who don't have the same values and they don't have the same principles. And I'm just observing that based on how they treat each other and based on how they react. And there are still so many people that have been together for decades and are still having to explain things to their partner. What a waste of energy. What a waste of your precious energy that you have. Imagine all of that time that you use to explain yourself. Imagine putting that into a passion, putting that into something that you can share with the world. And what if these people were put in our lives specifically as a lesson, a hard lesson? And I think when I look at people who challenge me the most, I will often see people who haven't been brave in their own life, who didn't do the thing that they really wanted to do, who didn't pursue the passion that they really wanted to pursue. And they don't want to see me do it either. They want to see me miserable. They don't want to see me living out my dreams. They don't want to see me happy. They don't want to see me expressing myself in the most passionate, raw ways. They want me to be as small as they are. They want me to not live out my life. Your comfort level is not my problem. Your comfort level is not my concern. If you have an issue with me because I am choosing to express myself through creativity, that's your problem. I don't have to fix it. I don't have to explain anything to you. I don't have to justify why I'm making the choices I am making. I'm finding that I'm naturally moving away from people who don't want to live authentically. I'm naturally moving away from people who are not living out their passion and purpose. Not everybody is here to be creative. I understand that. It's not about creativity, but about being aligned with the core of who you are. People who are left-brained, say an accountant, could very easily be aligned with their purpose. I am finding that I'm having such a difficult time being around people who say one thing and then do another, and they don't match up, they're not lined up. You can tell they're not happy. You can tell they don't love their life. And yet they pretend that they do. I was actually living that life for a long time. I was living under this veil of, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and I've created this wonderful life, and I don't really want you to see how I really felt inside. I was trying to hide how I really felt and how unhappy I was. This morning when I was painting, it was as if the light was being shined on this place that I had arrived at. This place where I had worked so hard to get to. This place of everything is coming together. I am living my dream. I am living out my purpose. And it's not always on display for the world to see, that oftentimes it's in these small moments where we're by ourselves and we're just doing what we're here to do. And it feels really good. It feels really good. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.